Yo, what's up guys? A new video on Steel Fortress 10. This is the hardest dungeon to make it run very fast. The main thing about this dungeon is that the fastest run is pretty much still the dot team. There's pretty much nothing faster. I want something faster than that. I pretty much created like fastest dungeon teams for everything. Also, before people are going to say like, oh, but just use like my team is 15 seconds or 20 seconds or whatnot. I want a team that works all the time. I want a team that's not like an F1 car crashing at every third corner, never finishing like a proper lap of 10, anything like that. I want something that's autoable, something that doesn't feel like, if it feels like 1 or 2%, I'm okay with that. But that's like pretty much the max, and besides I want the fastest average time possible. Too bad there's no leaderboards for fastest average time yet, but this is my video of showcasing like how I went through the steps of trying to improve the SF10 team. This video took me a lot of time to make, so I would really appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because this video was actually the hardest dungeon for me to test things on, to test multiple things on. I wasted I don't know how many resources to up units and that kind of stuff, so really appreciate it if you would like this video. So with all of those things, I already have like all of the clips recorded because I switched so many runes so many times. I'm also not fully showcasing the runes for most of these things. And therefore I'm not showcasing like in depth what it does, but I'm more showcasing like the team mechanics and what it does. So talking about this team. The specialty about this team is Clara Perfect AI. So Clara Perfect AI with enough damage makes it the China's Perfect AI, clearing wave 1 and 3 very consistently. Thing is, then you have to fight the buffs. Buff block is very hard to come by, so I was thinking, okay, how about we do a Martina, which actually strips and then constantly steals those buffs towards those other units as well. Then I was having in mind like, okay, what do we pair with a Martina? What does make most sense? So I actually came to the Dark Chakram Dancer. On the Dark Chakram Dancer third skill, she actually, I'm not sure if she does more damage based on more dots. I think she does, but she transfers all of the buffs into dots. So with that said, she will start to do more damage. The waves, as you can see, are very consistent, very solid. So this is where it gets like, okay, he keeps getting the shield and the defense buff. Then also the third one, not the third one, the fifth unit, the Melissa, she actually does more damage the more buffs and debuffs are there, plus she ignores all of the buffs. With that, I thought like, okay, maybe this is good potential if that with those together, kill the boss. But as you can see, it doesn't really get there. So just fast forwarding a little bit towards the boss. So if we land everything, she does most of the time the Moonblow, and this one pretty much always does Massacre Dance. But Massacre Dance, like if that would fully kill, I would be like, yo, okay, we can work with that. But getting enough damage on her is very hard. So with that, this team does work, but we're looking at like a 35-second average-ish kind of team, which is not exactly what we need, not exactly what we want. So with those, it's not good enough. Because if we're looking at what team is currently like pretty much record holder for like fastest average team, it's the team that I showcased before, which I will also put a link to in the description, with the Raoq, with the Seth, Double Melia, and then Tatu, and then Raoq plus Seth kind of clear the waves and that kind of stuff. That is still the fastest average team. It is faster than Illusion team, yes. So with that said, this is not really a team that worked out as good as I was hoping for. The idea was really good, but then, like, in general, I feel like you still kind of need that buff block to make it work, I guess, or not. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is the Huawei AppGallery. If you're buying packs within Summoners War, I really recommend you to use the Huawei AppGallery because packs are just a lot cheaper. How to install it? Very simply, go to the link in the description, install the AppGallery. It also works on emulators. Once you install the AppGallery, search for Summoners War, install Summoners War through the AppGallery. The moment you're at the Summoners War page, you can also see what kind of campaigns they're currently running. Once you install the AppGallery, make sure that you will set your location towards either Ireland, UK, New Zealand, or Australia. I recommend to go for Ireland if you're paying with euros, so you don't have like any exchange fees for the currencies. Also, you can join their Discord, which is linked in the description down below as well. I keep on track of what kind of campaigns are there right now. So currently there's a 10% cashback throughout the week, 50% cashback in the weekends, and then we're also able to claim the energy. And for these energy that you have, you can actually claim coupons that you can use for your next purchase. So with those, I have a few of those energy. I willed a little bit. But besides that, not even that, you also have the VIP program. And with the VIP program, you can even get more coupons and therefore even cheaper packs. Another way to get cheaper packs is going through the game center. And within the game center, you have these loyalty rewards. And with loyalty rewards, you can even get more coupons. So for more information, check out the description. It has more of step guide written down of what you have to do, what you have to set up, and it's as easy as that. So thank you Huawei AppGallery for sponsoring this video, and let's get into the video. So then the next clip, I was like, okay, buff blocks. I need buff blocks, but I can still use something else rather than China to actually clear the waves, which is chiwoo. Chiwoo S3 also clears the waves, and again, Chiwoo S3 is perfect AI if Clara puts the damage low enough. And actually, the Chiwoo AI or the chiwoo third skills, weirdly enough, it doesn't even show the damage and it already says cleared wave. So that makes things like, I was like, wow, that's pretty fast then. But now we have the issue Chiwoo has to do S2. And I was hoping Chiwoo has decent-ish AI on the S2 the moment that there's debuffs on that thing. But Chiwoo doesn't fucking S2 ever. Chiwoo is a fucking shithead. Chiwoo sucks. Chiwoo doesn't know when to use proper skills. Like, legit, that unit, I'm pretty freaking sure that this unit never did its proper skills. So wait, let's go on to the next round. So again, as you can see, the thing I talked about, like this wave is very easy because there's no way I have too little damage to clear this consistently. Like the waves are super easy. The boss is where the issue is. This is what I mean. You don't even see the damage, right? Super funny. So if that happens, that you actually put an S2 earlier, but Chiwoo, if Chiwoo would actually have proper AI to do S2, this team would be so good, and I would have like other variations on this team as well, which might even be better, which I would look at later. But why is Chiwoo's S2 so shit? And then it does it, but it doesn't strip anything. So then we have it finally, but I literally checked his rate of actually doing his S2 was about like 40%, 30 to 40%, which was absolutely garbage. So I think I tried one more time. So even with like a whole bunch of armor break misses, there's so much armor break potential with the Martina to actually make this work. So this was my next thought. Again, Chiwoo S1, fuck Chiwoo, man. Shit unit, absolute Zogi shit unit. Terrible unit. Not gonna do anything. So wait, when is his next hit? What does he do for the next hit? Probably S1 again, because his unit always freaking... S1. So Chiwoo shit. Confirmed. Next testing was actually a lot better than I expected. Because in this case we have Gina. Gina S3, again, perfect AI if Julie or if the Clara already did her skill. But Gina has S2 buff block. But the funny thing is, if there's buffs on the enemy, she has perfect AI for buff blocking. So I was like, yo, this is it, right? This is it. The only issue is it's one turn buff block, which is too short if shit goes bad. But I was like, we're looking at something that looks a lot more like Christmas right now. We have a perfect AI on the buff block. We have a perfect AI throughout the whole waves. So now we just have to make sure that we kill this boss consistently and fast. So again, for these waves, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Very easy. S3, always 100% perfect AI. In this case, S2 is the best scenario. S3, good. Issue is, armor break wasn't stripped there, but it's still okay. Then we have here the Massacre Dance. It does too little damage. Also, you might ask, is like, oh, why doesn't she use S2? Melissa doesn't have the S2 of the increase. So if we don't kill in one rotation, he will start having his boss up. It was still a pretty fast run, but it's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for faster. We're looking at 35 seconds right now. I can do less than 35-second averages on different teams. I think even the standard team does have a faster than that. So the team was also busted. So we're trying something else. We actually got back to China. China mainly for armor break in this case, because China is moving third. And we put in a Brandia. Brandia has perfect AI the moment that there's, I think, 2 or 3 debuffs, which is very likely to happen in this case. So we have Toad Potion, but then I run into the next issue. Toad Piston can fail 15% checker. And if Toad Piston fails 15% checker, I get fucked. I don't like getting fucked. Back at another try. Let's see how the run would go if it actually runs smooth and properly. I like seeing the waves die like that way. Okay, so we have that. But then again, we didn't. It's nice, but we're still like what 35-40% away from killing, and the buff block is already gone. Was it a decent run in the end? More or less, more or less. So we're looking at something that's already getting a little bit better. Fast forwarding on to the next run. This just looks smooth to just to look at. Just look at the waves. At least the waves clear instantly fast. I like that. So okay, we have that going. We have that stripped. That's good. We have that stripped. Good. But Touch of Mercy on 2 debuffs. It always does Touch of Mercy on 2 debuffs, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much always. But it's not enough damage. We're not there yet for the damage. And therefore, the run will succeed. This will pretty much be mostly a successful run. Also, keep in mind, all of these units have like as much damage as fucking possible. These are 5 rage sets. Even Martina, Shina, everything is on rage. Brandia, everything is on rage. So, even the Gina is on rage. Otherwise, she doesn't do this much damage. So everything is on rage. Everything is maximized for this run to make it work. Like it's even that much on rage that 3 units go. Like Martina goes S2, clears the middle boss. But yeah, are we looking at something that's good enough? Because 3 debuffs, just barely of one-shotting. Just barely of one-shotting right now. So then I tried this a few more times. And in most cases, no, we're not getting enough like juice to actually one-shot the wave. Sometimes some stuff dies, so it's not even 100% yet. Next test was actually going back to something that I was doing in the past, and that was actually my previous test, going for the Fire Espresso, because Fire Espresso has buff block on the S1. Too bad Fire Espresso buff block is 50% one hit. But I was like, okay, maybe we need a backup stripper or the backup buff blocker to actually do enough. But then it was like, also she has a very good S3, which does a lot of debuffs. And those debuffs we can use for Brandia to actually do more damage. Because it has branding, it has armor break, it has like glancing, I don't know. Like it has so many things. But there was one thing I forgot. Because she uses it in wave 2. Because the boss is relatively low HP, and therefore she always will use it in the wave 2. So with that, so here is where I showcase that this, and it will use. Oh, I didn't actually use that there, but it will use it in most cases. It will mostly go for the S3. But what I didn't look at is how long is the rotation of that. Also, no strips here. So if you don't strip, you're not going to do as much damage. So that's also like the strip is not good enough. Because you're doing the toad pission, the moment that there's already stuff on it. So you can't have her moving first, because then she also wouldn't have perfect AI, right? So, and then also the roasting beams, which I would like to see beforehand, before the S3, Touch of Mercy. If there was no shield, no armor, or no defense buff, we would have done a lot of damage. But yeah, it didn't really work out in the end as well. So if I fast forward a bit, like we're getting still some runs, it's not good enough. Like it's okay-ish, but it's not good enough. This is where I played it manually. So if you do S2 here, whatever here doesn't really matter. You do the Lauren hit, you do the roasting, and you do this, does 6 ton of damage by the way. You go for an S3 perfect AI into perfect AI S3. Then this is where the issue is. We can do Toad Piston, okay, we can strip that, okay, doesn't always strip that. We don't have the freaking 3rd skill up. So we actually need a unit that has 3 skills of cooldown to actually work here. Because otherwise you would never get the skill up. So that was like, okay, this is where I can't use that unit as well. Going on to the next testing, removing that for a Crow. Crow actually also has perfect AI, plus Crow fucking one-shots middle boss. So that's super fast, that is nice. So what can we do here? Toad Poison has to land though. We didn't land all of that, and we didn't land that. And the defense buff is so hard though. So the thing is, I kind of need an armor breaker stripper that's more consistent. An armor breaker stripper, yeah, pretty much just those. That's more consistent than Lauren, because Lauren apparently also doesn't use her S2 all the freaking time. Unit sucks. Why is my life so hard to get perfect AI runs? Okay, back at it again. Let's see how a run goes, if it actually goes smooth. So we go for an S3, we go for an S3, yes sir. We go for flame skill, I like that. We didn't strip all of it, and we didn't have we didn't strip the shield, and we didn't land branding in the case of Crow. But we got a 20-second team. 20-second. And that is on auto. There's not many auto teams that can run 20 seconds. So I was like, yo, we're looking at something that looks like Christmas right now. So once again, showing that, going for the right skill, going for the right skill, going for strip, going for perfect AI, going for perfect AI. 20-second run. Perfect AI. So this is looking very good. There's only two issues. One, S2 checks of Gina for not landing plus not stripping. Lauren not doing S2 and therefore not stripping. So, but the rest of the team is all perfect AI. Like literally everything is perfect AI related right now, which is insane. But except for that armor break would have been nice. But yeah, this is where we see, okay, we don't strip. We do this. We do that. Fucking no damage. So we need a backup for the buff block for this to make it work. Without that backup of buff block, we are going to look at failed runs, like a lot of the time. So let's see how it goes in this run. No S2, S2 would be better, but it's still okay. We stripped that, we stripped that. It did team up. I didn't even know that Crow didn't have like full perfect AI on the S3, but S2 actually makes sense to have perfect AI as well because it's based on debuffs as well. So weirdly enough, it went for team up, which I did not expect Crow to be able to do, but it does make sense because Crow S2 is also based on enemy debuffs. So therefore, it also triggers the perfect AI of being like 2 or 3 debuffs or more. Strangely enough, it mostly goes for the Scar if it's 3 or more, and it goes for the team up if it's just 2. I don't really know why. So yeah, with that said, back to the boss. S1, not the greatest. S2 did strip. S2 did strip. Crow S3. Brandia S3 kill. 20-second run. So I was like, okay, we're looking at something that if I can get 20-second runs consistently, we're looking at something that's really nice. So how can we get this more consistent? We have to remove the Crow to make it more consistent. So I was like, okay, main thing is we need a second buff blocker because I can't really work with a run that's like 15% of failing. Or probably even more because there's a rest check for stripping and there's a rest check for landing it. Plus there's a check if Lauren actually does the skill or not. So currently we're looking at a Ling Ling. But issue is with Ling Ling, her AI is also shit. Her S3 is on 4 turns as well, which does mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4 turns. Which means if she uses S3 in wave 2, she will not have S3 up at the boss. So she can, by best, do S2, which kind of sucks. So plus she doesn't do enough damage to actually make it work. Struggles. Because this is where I started checking, like, okay, Ling Ling, where's she at? Does she actually have enough turns for skill 3? 5 to 4? Fuck. She doesn't have, so she can never S3 in perfect AI state. So this is like, okay, which unit actually does have? This unit. Brick actually does have an S3 that is 3 turns. So let's take Brick in there. So switching over the runes to Brick. Just like a showcase, this was like my 5th rage set. So what kind of rage sets I was working on, this one was the 5th. Was it easy to make? No. So let's continue on. So we go in with the Brick. So going in with Brick, same thing as always, perfect AI, perfect AI. This thing, I'm not sure how much damage he does. No armor breaks whatsoever, but he also still provides armor break and attack break, so it's not too bad on that S3. So let's see what does. We have the Toad Piston, we have that, he uses S1. Apparently Brick's AI is pretty shit. So we're looking at another unit with like chiwoo kind of style of AI. It's just not landing his things all the time. Plus, it doesn't strip. And not stripping is something of an issue as well. Clara S1 actually does strip, but didn't strip as much as we needed in this case. So let's try again in next round. We have the next round going. We go for an S3, actually goes for an S3. Nice, but we're still lacking damage. Brandia was not on the highest set I could potentially do, but at least we have a 2-turn buff block here. So Brick does make that work for 2-turn buff block. He actually somewhat consistency lands his buff block, but it's still not the best out there. At least it's 2 turns, so the run doesn't fail. But I was like, okay, I'm still looking at like, what, 35 seconds, 40 seconds run. If this shit all goes to drain, it doesn't go that fast. Doesn't go that great. So is this the best? option potential of anything of actually landing things. So checking one more run, and I think after this run I switch again. So we switch that, we disarm, and this actually did not do enough damage. And this is like, okay, I think I can upgrade the damage of the Brandia. So I think in here I still run the same team exactly, but my Brandia is a lot more boosted for damage. So currently the best rage set is on the Brandia, which used to be on the Lauren because it came from Martina. Martina had the runes from Lauren. But still a little bit short on killing, and she has pretty good runes. I don't showcase the runes right here, but think about like 270 crit damage and 2200 attack or 2300 attack. So it's a good amount of damage. The damage of fire is not that high, it's just a 14, could be better. I actually get this from this dungeon, but yeah, it's something that's not too bad. It's not too bad. So let's see. Doesn't use S3, but that is totally fine in this stage. If we continue on, we're at the boss again. No S2, S2, strips. No S3, however. S3 actually does a lot more damage for Brick than his S2. So in this case, we're already looking at issues because we didn't kill, and even if it landed there, we still had to fight annoying things. So in here, it did clear, but it was not that good of a clear. So in this case, we actually have a decent clear, but still not a one-shot. So it didn't use S3 again, I think. But this is around, like, what, 35 seconds teams? 26. Oh, yeah, that's 26. So if it does its skills, so it does, like, the beam, and then it does, like, the thunder going from above, and then you do one more hit, it's, like, 26 seconds. That's still faster than the average of any of the other runs. So if I get like that 26 second on average, sometimes getting the 20, I'm good. I don't mind. It's a good improvement. But we're still not there yet. It's still feeling somewhat inconsistent if the Toad Piston doesn't land. So Toad Piston doesn't land, he goes for an S1, and we're in the full rockery of like this team, and we probably fail this run. So still not the greatest. Still not the greatest. Like if they actually use their skills, it's somewhat good, but 32 seconds. Continuing on, how is this run going? And Toad Piston, okay, didn't strip the S2, went for an S2 as well. No freaking damage because we didn't strip. Fuck, why is my life so hard? So let's continue on. I think I keep running this team for like quite a bunch more, but in the end, every time, like it was kind of same thing, same old, same old. So then going for the next one, I actually max skilled a Aegir for this because I know Aegir has S3 of, what's it called? S3 of branding, which would make an insta-kill, but also the S2 of, what's it called, S2 of buff block. So we have both. So this looks like a lot more potential, but then we had the very first run and it went into complete rockery like straight off the bat, and we actually lost the very first run. So that was already like, why is my life so hard? Actually, a funny thing is that Aegir does that much damage on the S3 because he actually does more damage based on debuffs. So therefore also has perfect eye on the S3. But it does a lot of damage, so therefore clears. So wave 2 is cleared in 3 hits, which is pretty nice. So let's actually go here, Toad Piston. Okay, we stripped everything, we did that branding, and then we did a one-shot. That is exactly what we would like to see. But then again, we're still looking at, it's actually faster than the Crow team. But then we're still looking at the same issues that I had before. We need a strip, we need a buff block, and we need that kind of stuff. I'm not sure, I didn't actually test, I was thinking about testing what if you do a non-2-8 Aegir and therefore he does more S2 potential, whereas he doesn't do S3 and maybe has perfect eye on the S2. I didn't test that, but I don't have enough vampires to actually test that right now. Maybe I should have tested that one beforehand. But yeah, as you can see here, also not that consistent. So we are still not stripping always. I'm not sure if Lauren is the right unit in the right spot right now. So let's continue on. Did this a few more times. We had some fails. We had some succeeds. More fails than succeeds actually. It was some rockery AI. So yeah, also not good enough. Then we went on with another unit, which is weirdly enough the Fire Lizard. Fire Lizard S2 does buff block, and when the enemy hits you, you also do buff block. Thing I didn't keep in mind is that sometimes he goes for the or for his second skill, which is targeted on one unit, and therefore he doesn't get buff block because he's not hitting the fucking Fire Lizard. I'm like, oh my god, why is this dungeon so hard? So yeah, we're still not done yet. We're still not really there yet. At least this unit has a lot of potential to get buff blocks. It actually does some like other stuff as well. So there's, I was at least like, okay, if this doesn't always work, at least it kind of works sometimes. And apparently I cleared Summoner's Wave because, but it's 44 seconds. That's so fucking long. So this case also, he will never kill that wave in 2 steps. So let's go for seeing how well this goes right now. We go Flame Shot, we go S2, we go Stripperinos, we go on S2, and can we one-shot? We can't one-shot. So by best, we're getting like, this is a kill for 26 seconds. So, I'm still not too happy about it. At least it's more consistent. We're supposedly getting less fails, but we're getting the 26 seconds again. And then again, this was like the good AI things. There we actually did get a one-shot. So if everything uses their proper skills, so there's armor break right from the get-go, we get like 21 seconds. And that 1 second is slower because of the Brandia having to do S3 at wave 2. So is this then the thing that is the real Christmas? Is this the thing that we need? Well, issues is still the same thing. No armor break landing, no damage. Can you actually still clear it with this unit? Yes, you can. I was actually at some point running like 30 to like 29 second average, which is actually the fastest average that I got. But you're kind of dependent on like how well is Lauren performing on strips, how well is Gina performing on her shit. Those are the main 2 things still. However, the Fire Lizard does save a lot of potential if things go wrong. So technically, yes, this is the best team out there. Does it never fail? No, it does sometimes fail because this stage is just completely rookery. If you have a better Brandia than I do, you have more chance of getting those 20 seconds than what I have. Odds are somewhat low, not gonna lie. So I think at the end, if we skip through a little bit, I think I have like a finish of 10. Yeah, I think this run is some point where it at some point fails. So we do have potentials where it fails, and no, he can't solo shit, even if he's fire. Issue is at some point the laser will target everything, or like the thunder will target everything on one unit, and then you still like hella die, even though this unit is defense based. So we did do a decent run of many things, and we got like 30-second average, which is not the worst. It's actually the best I've seen so far. I think with my Raoak Seth Tattoo, I think I could do like 31, 32 second averages. This is pretty much it as how far I've come. The issue is still it's not the perfect run out there. I think the fill rate on this is probably like 15 to, well, I would say 15 to 10%. That is too much for me. Is it faster? Yes, it's faster. Could it be upgraded with better runes? Yes, I will actually showcase the runes here as well. So Lauren, Triple Fighter. But yeah, I kind of wanted to share my work of like what I did for improving the things. Thing that I did figure out was like perfect AI plus wave clear perfect AI. So perfect AI for buff block and wave clear perfect AI. But it's still not good enough. Apparently we still need slightly bit more edge, maybe a buff on a specific unit, maybe a different unit I didn't think of. So therefore I'm also sharing this video right now so you guys can be like, okay, he used this and this, but maybe this and this makes more sense. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments as well. I don't mind to read those. Maybe a whole bunch of those I will be like, okay, already tried, isn't faster. But yeah, this is what I worked at. I really like to share it. It took me a lot of effort. As you can see, I switched so many teams. I built so many new units, all of that kind of stuff. So really hope you enjoyed that video. And as always, see you in the next one. Too bad I didn't have like a clear showcase of like, okay, this is the best team out there right now. Because there's nothing better than just the dot team kind of right now. Unless you maybe have like a Cadiz, Zarath, Jara, those kind of units. I guess with the Cadiz, I could make something better. I think that would be the main thing. Like if I would replace the second backup buff block with a Cadiz, I think this might work. So for your Cadiz owners out there, please try out this team. Let me know how it works. So guys, thanks for watching and see you later.